Hello folks, we are starting a new series called Raghu's Corner. Our man Raghu is supposed to give us good questions, interesting questions, challenging questions, tough questions, beautiful questions. Probably not relevant for CAT, probably not relevant for any normal routine competitive exam. But here's something that can just open up our mind and go, nice question. I tried solving it, I didn't get the answer, but it was still fun. 15 minutes well spent. That's the idea. Hopefully we'll do this as a series. Maybe weekly one, maybe fortnightly one, but keep updating and create a zone of interesting, challenging questions across branches of mathematics. So if you have anything and you want to contribute to Raghu's Corner, send an email to raghu@corners.com. Just kidding, you'll be able to reach out to us at info@iim.com as usual. We'll forward it to Raghu and then see whether we can incorporate it in this one. This is the first video of this series. Let's attack this. 100 people are standing in line to board a 100-seater airplane. In sequence, each of them has one seat reserved. However, the first person to board the plane is drunk and he may sit on any of the 100 seats. Fine. Everyone after him is sober and sits in their designated seat if it is unoccupied or randomly sits in one of the empty seats. Right? What are the probability that the last person to enter the plane sits in designated seat? And I got this question wrong a bunch of times. Fine. I didn't completely get it. I misinterpreted it. And then did several sequences. Fine. So let me just re-explain this whole thing. The 100-seater plane. And so 100 seats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 51, 52, till 100. 100 seats are here. Person 1 comes here. And then he wants to go and sit. He has to go and sit at seat 1. But he is drunk, so he randomly sits somewhere. And let's say he sits at seat 4. Person 1 goes and sits seat 4. Then person 2 comes, takes seat 2 correctly. Person 3 comes, takes seat 3 correctly. And then person 4 comes and looks at his seat. Person 1 is sitting here. He doesn't raise hell because person 1 is obviously drunk. He says, let me go and sit somewhere else. And so, let's say seat number 27, person 4. So person 5 comes, nice, takes it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 till P26, all sit there. And then person 27 comes, finds somebody sitting in a seat. And then it's like, I need to find another seat, finds another seat. Another empty seat, obviously, goes without saying. And so, this keeps on happening till the last person comes in here, person 100. If the 100th seat number 100 is available, then he or she goes and sits in the seat. It's not available, he has to go and sit at some other seat. What are the chances that the last person to enter the plane sits in his designated seat? What are the chances that P100 sits at the 100th seat? That's what this question is about. Right? So excellent question, beautiful question. Seems like a kind of question that you go through it and then you see like, hey, I can try this. There's something to it. It is a random, 1% randomness, a huge ripple effect after that. When I first did the question, I put the person 1 randomly and then for some reason person 2, person 3, person 4, I did all of them randomly. If only their seat is occupied, do they even think about going random? Otherwise, they take their, if they like their, if person 3 comes, if person 3, seat 3 is not occupied, person 3 goes and sits in seat 3. No confusion. Remember, only P1 is drunk. Everyone else is sober. Right? Now, let's break this down. If person 1 comes and sits in seat 1, then through everybody gets their seat, the world is a happy place. When the probability that person 1 will sit in seat 1 is 1 by 100. Because he is sitting randomly. In this 1 by 100 possibility, everyone gets their seat and everyone is happy. So if person 1 happens to sit on seat 1, then everybody else will automatically sit in their natural seats. Person 100 gets that. Done. True. Right? Suppose this does not happen. Person 1 does not get to sit in seat 1. The other extreme, person 1 goes and sits in seat 100. Then everybody else will sit fine. There's no way person 100 gets his seat. And that's the other extreme. If he sits in P2, then we have to think about in 3, 4, 5, 6, we have to think about all of that. If he sits here, it's jackpot. If he sits here, it's end of story. Right? And then other possibilities we'll have to evaluate. Remember, there are 98 other possibilities. Right? So, and it's overwhelming. Having 98 other possibilities, it's a pain. I found it tough. And I said, look, suppose person 1 sits at seat 2. Then person 2 automatically has to take a decision. Right? So, now person 2 has 99 seats available to him. And his seat is empty, his seat is taken. He will sit in any one of these 99 seats. If he sits in the last one, end of story, game over. But if he sits in anything else, then we'll live to fight another day. That's where we are headed. And so to me it looked like the person 1 taking seat 2 reduces this to a 99 seat problem when person 2 randomly comes and takes something. Right? Then if he sits in seat 50, it reduces to a 51 seat problem when person 50 comes in. And so because till from P2 to P49 they all take their seats, all good. And then we restart this game. That's how it happens. Right? So it seems like there's a mechanism to reframe this question. I'm going to chase that. A lot of these questions I really like. If I'm not dealing with 100, I get very worried. And so I'm going to forget about this 100. I'm going to think about 2 people. A plane that has 2 seats. Person 1 comes. If person 1 comes and he can take 1 and 2 seats randomly, if he takes seat 1, person 2 gets his right seat. If he takes seat 2, person 2 gets a wrong seat. Our probability of this happening, person 2 getting seat 2 is half. Two people are there. Nice way of kind of limiting this whole thing. Right? I'm going to think about 3 people. Let's go step by step. 1, 2, 3. And so this is person 1 comes in. There are 3 seats available. I want to think about the probability of the last person getting into his designated seat. Okay. I'm going to start with person 1. Person 1 has equal likelihood of going here, or going here. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. 1/3 probability of going here, 1/3 probability of going here, 1/3 probability of going here. Now, if the person 1 goes here, goes into seat 1, brilliant, success. That means last person gets his seat. Done. If person 1 goes to seat 3, end of story, last person cannot get his seat. Why? Because that seat is already taken. Drunk guy is straight away gone and sat on my seat, end of story. Done. The complication comes when person 1 sits in seat 2. Suppose you say, hey, nice, person 1 sits here. Okay. Now P2 comes, person 2 comes, seat number 1 and 3 are available. If he sits in 1, it works for us. Last person will get the right seat. If he sits in 3, it doesn't work. This works, this doesn't work. So, after person 1 has sat in seat 2, for person 2, from this point onwards, probability of our last man getting the last seat, probability of person 3 getting seat 3, in this scenario is half, 1/2, right? Or our overall probability is 1/3 into 1, 1/3 into 0, plus 1/3 into 1/2. 1/3 into 1, 1/3 into 0, 1/3 into 1/2. Nice. So far so good. 1/3 plus 1/6, which is 1/2. Nice. What am I going to do? I'm going to do for 4 people. And so let's do this. There's 4 seats. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting the hang of this. Person 1 walks in. This is a full success. It's an utter fail. If he goes to 1, everybody gets their seat. Person 4 will go to the last seat. If he goes and sits on seat 4, end of story. There's probability of 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4 for each of these happening. Right? So it is 1 by 4 into 1, 1 by 4 into 0. Sits here, no chance. Sits here, 100% chance of our event happening. Our event is probability of P4 going to S4. Right? That's our probability. Person 4 going to seat 4. Now, person 1 could have sat at 2 or 3. If he sits at 2, right, then person 2 has 3 options. He sits at, this is if person 1 takes seat 2. If person 1 had gone to seat 3, then person 3 has 2 options, 1 and 4. If he goes to P2, and P2 comes there, fine. So if he goes to seat 2, person 2 comes here, his seat is occupied. 1, 3, 4 are empty. If he goes to P3, then P2 goes and sits in his seat. Nice, empty. I'm seat 2, I take seat 2, I'm very happy. P3 comes, looks at person 1 sitting there, pain. And then P3 says, hey, I have 2 choices available, 1 and 4. I'll take either one of them randomly. Whichever works, I'm through. Happy with that. And now, P2 could go to 1, 3 or 4 with equal likelihood. P3 could go to 1 or 4 with equal likelihood. This works. This doesn't work. P2 goes to 1. It works automatically. P2 goes to 4. It gets killed automatically. P2 goes to 3. Then P3 will again have a choice here between 1 and 4. We're back to this. Nice, beautiful. We've given this outline very clearly. Now I'm going to redefine this because it can get confusing. I'm going to change this. This probability of P2 going to S2 when there are 2 people available, I'm going to call this f of 2. I'm going to call this f of 3. What is f of 2? Probability that the last person will go to his or her designated seat when you are playing this game when we originally started with 2 people. That is f of 2. F of 3 is probability that the third person will go to the third seat. Last person will go to their designated seat when you are playing this game, first person being drunk. What is f of 4? Probability that the fourth person will get seat number 4 correctly when we know the person 1 is drunk. Okay? So what are we doing? We're defining this f of n as probability that Pn goes to Sn if P1 is drunk. Okay? Nth person, we're playing this game with n people. Given that there are n people, what is the probability that the nth person goes to his or her correct seat under the condition that the first person is drunk? That's what f of n is. What do we need to find? We need to find f of 100. Right? What have we found so far? We have found f of 2 is half. We have found f of 3 is also half. Nice, beautiful, so far so good. We're trying to find f of 4. And there are 4 seats available. We want to find f of 100. We know f of 1, the idea doesn't exist. 1 person drunk, doesn't matter. The whole thing breaks down. F of 2 is half, f of 3 is half. F of 4 we are looking to find. 4 people being there, first person sits randomly. What happens after that? First person sits here. World is a rosy place. My last person will definitely get his or her seat. Game over. The person sits here. End of story. His seat is already occupied. No matter what else happens, he doesn't get a seat. Then the 2 extremes are clear. If he goes to seat 2, then person 2 has a choice to make between 1, 3 and 4. Person 2 does not get his or her seat. If he goes to seat number 3, person 2 gets his seat, happy, sit down. And person 3 is in the fix, 1 or 4. Beautiful. Now think about this. When person 2 comes here in this situation, the probability here is 1/3 of taking this, 1/3 of taking this, 1/3 of taking this. This works always. Person 4 will get seat 4. This works never. If person 2 sits in seat 4, end of story. If this happens, then we are back to this situation. Choosing between 1 and 4 for P3. P3, if he sits as 1, this is out. Nice. Beautiful. Now comes a wonderful part. So, if I want to find f of 4, right? F of 4 is 1 by 4 coming here into 1, 100% chance, right? Plus 1 by 4 into f of 3 plus 1 by 4 into f of 2 plus 1 by 4 into 0. It's a very interesting equation, very tough equation to grab. But if you grab this, we are through. Right? First, when there are 4 people in the game, first person comes. If he takes seat number 1, randomly but happening to take a right seat, game over. Everybody is happy, everybody gets their seat. If he takes seat 4, game over. Step 1, game is khatam. You have to say the last person cannot get a seat. This 1 by 4 and this 1 by 4 are the easiest to deal with. Right? Done. This 100% last person gets a seat. This 0% last person gets a seat. If person 1 happens to sit in seat 2, then we have 3 seats remaining for person 2. First one is 100% yes, last one is 100% no. Middle, we carry on to the next level of the game. Effectively, this situation is f of 3. If person 1 happens to sit at seat number 3, person 2 takes a seat perfectly. This is effectively f of 2. Done. Brilliant. So this is the equation. Now I'm going to extrapolate this. I'm going to say, hey, we've got this. Let's do this elaborately for finding f of n. 1, 2, 3, 4 till n. N seats, n people. Person 1 enters the system. Person 1 has an equal likelihood of going to each of these places. Fine. Overall probability of the last person getting the last seat, that is f of n equals 1 by n into 1. This situation. Last step, 1 by n into 0. This situation. There are n different starting step, all equally likely. 1 by n, 1 by n. Plus 1 by n f of n minus 1. 1 by n f of n minus 2. 1 by n f of 2. If the person 1 goes to seat number 2, then seat number 2 is taken incorrectly. When person 2 comes here, he'll have n minus 1 seats remaining. One of those, which is seat 1, is a winner. The game's like done. Everybody else gets their seat. If he gets the last seat, it's a killer. 0 probability. No chance of it happening. Anything in between is the game starts again. Or when person 2 comes here, from that point onwards, we are at f of n minus 1. If person 1 has sat at n minus 1th seat, 1, 2 to n minus 2 will all come take naturally. N minus 1 will come here. You'll find person 1 drunk and sitting there. He has 2 options available. Seat 1, seat n. Equal likelihood 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Done. Through. So we've got this. It seems like a very, very, very tough equation. But remember, f of 2 is half. F of 3 is half. F of 4 will also be half. 1 by 4, 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 into half, 1 by 4 into half. One by 4 into 1, 1 by 4 into 0, 1 by 4 into half, 1 by 4 into half. First seat, last seat equally likely, out. Middle seats are all with probability half. So 1 by 4 into 1, 1 by 4 into 0, 1 by 4 into half, 1 by 4 into half. This is 1 by 4, this is 1 by 4, probability is half. F of 4 is half. Each of these terms is half. Each one of these will be half. Overall number f of n is half. F2 is half, F3 is half, F4 is half, F5 is half, F6 is 1 by 2, F7 is 1 by 2, F8 is 1 by 2. All of these are 1 by 2. Fn will also be 1 by 2. Fn, I come here, 1 by n this extreme, everything works, 1 by n that extreme, nothing works. Middle throughout, n minus 2 by n into half. I'm through. So f of n, if you think about it, is 1 by n into 1, 1 by n into 0 plus n minus 2 by n into 1 by 2. That is 0. Forget that. So this is 1 by 2n, 2 by 2n plus n minus 2 by 2n. Taking LCM as 2n, just n by 2n, just 1 by 2. We've seen f of 2 is half, f of 3 is half, f of 4 will be half, f of 5 will be half, f of 6 will be half, f of n is half, f of 100 is half. Very happy. Beautiful question. The idea here is to keep poking around, try. Very often, like the oldest trick in the book is, if a question seems very tough, do a cousin brother of it, a nephew of it, a grandson of it, which is a simple question. In this case, 100 seaters tough. Do if there are 2 seats. Very easy, 1 by 2, 2 easy. Let's do if there are 3 seats. Oh, that seems doable. Let's do if there are 4 seats. This seems doable. There is something here. 2, 3, 4, all 3 cases the answer is half. Might I be on to something? Then 5, 6, 7, all of that. And I was so happy when I did this. I sent a solution to Raghu after having messed it up twice. And Raghu said, this seems like an okay solution. I have a much cooler solution. Then he said something about some shenanigans. And so I'll have Raghu describe that solution that he has, which he claims is more elegant than this, and then we'll see. But I really enjoyed this question. Hopefully we'll have more such questions. It's got nothing to do with competitive exams, but hey, life can get pretty boring pretty quickly if you're only preparing for competitive exams. We should have some fun. Ergo, Raghu's Corner. And so this is to have interesting ideas in mathematics, interesting puzzles, problems which are super challenging and properly pushes us to think differently. We've made a beginning here. This is the first one. Hopefully it'll be the first of n being a nice, decent, large number. Thank you, folks.